What is going on? How is everybody? This is AC Milan News. We're going to talk about Milan and nothing else but AC Milan. We're going. We do have Antonio coming in. He should be with us anytime. But how is everybody doing? So we have Kengu says, Roy, you got to get with the European and African calendar. Sure. Jamal says, "You, Roy, you must be on a bender. You got this." And Alan says, "What's up, Roy? How you doing, Alan? How you doing?" Well, listen, guys. Today we can say that news is positive. All right, what we're seeing emerge in the world right now in the AC Milan universe is pretty positive, in my opinion. The players that are seem to be coming to AC Milan are players that I personally like a lot, especially Florenzi. Florenzi is going to be a key player. Now, I know a lot of you guys think I'm joking when I say this, but I actually mean this. I know you guys think I'm joking and I'm not serious, but I literally mean this. When I say that Florenzi from a tactical perspective, right? Not necessarily from a technical perspective or from a marketability perspective or anything. From a tactical perspective, Florenzi is the best signing that any team could make in this transfer market. And I know you guys are laughing and you think I don't know what you think I'm crazy, but you guys will see this. You will see what a great signing Florenzi is going to be, and you're going to see how great it is for us to be able to use uh, a player that can play in three different positions: fullback, midfield, and right wing. So we have great. It's great news that the Florenzi is coming to Milan. This is actually the best signing of the whole transfer market. Florenzi is the best signing of the whole transfer market. PSG, all their signings that they made, Antonio Donnarumma. Hey, Antonio, how you doing?
I'm good, Roy.
Antonio, Antonio Donnarumma, Wijnaldum, Hakimi, Messi, and some other guy I don't even know who. I'm telling you, Florenzi is a better signing than all of those guys put together. And you guys will see what I mean about that. Hey, Antonio, guys, Antonio, the guru of the transfer market, is here with us. How you doing, Antonio? How's life?
I'm good, Roy. I was gonna. You started really fast because I was about to jump in. I was like running a couple minutes late, but I see you're already talking about Florenzi, so it's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Before we get into the news for tonight, I want to share the polls that we did this week, and then we're going to get in all the news, and we're going to discuss and opine on all the different things that are happening in the Milan universe. So before getting into that, let's do these polls and let's see what our Rossoneri community have been saying about the various polls that we've been putting out. But in the meantime, let me say, yo, back to Shah. What's up, Shah? Adniel chances, Kamada and Florenzi, we can probably put up a top four till mid-season. Put- That's it. Any possibility for Berardi? Well, we'll talk about Berardi today for sure. Guess Messi was chopped liver this summer. Then I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's it's negative. Look, we don't need Messi, guys. We do not need Messi. We don't want Messi. What we want are the stars of tomorrow. Messi is a star of yesterday. He is a star yesterday. What we want is a star tomorrow. Maybe we can argue Donnarumma is a star of tomorrow and we lost him, but that's it. Okay, so let's go through these polls before we get into the news because they're very interesting and there's a lot to extract from because it really says where some of our community subscribers are when it comes to these certain topics that we're going to be facing. All right, so the first poll I'm going to bring up is this one right here, Kiss C. Oh wait, hold the phone. By the way, what's up, Ollie? Hold the phone. So guys, check it out. Florenzi via Sky bids farewell to his Roma team, so positive news, and then followed by some negative news, which is we receive the bad news that Kessie gets injured for the second time in his career. Only the second time in his whole career that Kessie gets injured. How amazing is that? How amazing is that we have a player that is literally like injury resistant? A player that barely ever gets resistant, a player that can play 1,000 games and almost never gets injured, but he did get injured, putting him on the sidelines for at least a month. So our community, based on the opinions that we gave, gives Tonali precious playing time and experience to grow. 55% said that. Could Milan will keep Pobega? Blessing disguise. Well, we know that at this point that Pobega is leaving. It's done. We will lose every game with Akasi. I like to put the apocalyptic message there because I want to see how many people are like that. Because I know there's always people that are super negative. So I want to. I always want to know how many we do have. 8% out of 111 votes. Preseason premonitions of a continuous failure of Milan lab. We know that at Milan, we're always going to have injuries, guys. I don't know what it is, but this team, the Milan lab, I don't know if it's the training grounds, what it is, but every single season, Milan is cursed with a million injuries, and I don't know what it is. And this means we will go full on for Ali. 14% voted for that. So quite interesting regarding the Kessie. It seems like we all can say that Kessie's time out is gonna give Tonali time in, which is something that we want to see because a lot of us think that Tonali is going to become a superstar for Milan in the future. All right, let's move ahead. Giroud, guys, Giroud. All right, so check this one out. First of all, for some stupid reason, YouTube censored this for the past 2 days. I don't know why they did it. I have absolutely no idea why. We got only 90 votes, but usually we get way more votes for things like this. So it looks like there's a World Cup Champions League winner that has decided to face our infamous number nine curse. We all know that AC Milan has had this issue with number nines. Why? Because that number nine has been worn by extremely talented players, also surrounded by extremely talented players. But it seems like Giroud is going to face this curse head on. Milan have tried, many have tried, but only a few have come out the other side and etched themselves in the red and black pantheon of legends. How many goals will this warrior from the land of gold score? I bet that the majority of you was like, what the fuck? What is land of gold? Guys, you guys did not pay attention in your history class. Land of gold. Gaul is basically where France is right now. The Romans fought against the Gauls. Julius Caesar was fighting against the Gauls, which are now the French. But anyway, less
Roy,
than
as someone who wants to be a history major in college, I appreciate your history lessons on the stream. So keep it up.
thank you, I appreciate it. I'm talking. Less than 10%, so less than 10 goals, 9% voted less than 10. Between 10 and 15, 60%, which I agree with that. That's what I would have voted. I think he can achieve between 10 and 15. Between 15 and 20%, which is high, but we have a lot of confidence there, 22%, and then 9% for more than 20. Okay, Laert said that he's going to score more than 20 goals. So we know if Laert voted, he voted for that. All right, let's move on. Got a few more.
Wait, quick point about Giroud. I don't want to
Yes.
say too early how good he's going to do in Serie A, which I think he will do good. But after the Real Madrid game, everyone, like you and Nathan especially, were like freaking out and saying that he wasn't that good or whatever. But then he quickly proved that the goals that he scored were great. I mean, okay, they weren't the best of the best goals, but they showed his technique as a striker, especially the first one. And the second one, he had a great curved header back, and
Yeah, those are good
he has
goals.
good movement. So I just want to say I'm going to stick to my. I'm still excited about him, and I'm interested to see if your opinion has changed a little bit because you guys were kind of not too excited about him.
Well, look, okay, let's okay. Since we're gonna take this parentheses here, let's open up. First of all, let me tell you, which one did you vote for this, and if not, which one would you vote for?
So I voted with the majority, but I was stuck between either 15 and 20 or 10 and 15, and I think it depends on injuries. So I don't think he's gonna play the whole season to get 20 goals, but that's why I put 10 and 15 like around what Ibra did. Like 15 goals is what Ibra got, so I was kind of stuck between those two.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's what I said. All right, so let me say exactly what I think about Giroud. All right, so my opinion on Giroud hasn't changed, but because what I said about Giroud was this: that Giroud is very good at that one touch tap. He's good with the volleys. He's good with the headers, and these are the kind of players we need when we're playing against these KG teams where we can't penetrate them centrally, so we rely on the crosses, and we know that Giroud is very good at connecting with those crosses. But uh, he is good at that. Okay, and let's say maybe I thought maybe where I was a little bit skeptic, maybe I think that he is not as good as he actually is. He's probably better than what I think he is at doing that. Right. I think that Panathinaikos game kind of impressed me because both those goals he scores from a technical perspective were freaking high level, like really high level. The first one where volley, inside shot, curve inside volley shot around the goalkeeper, like that is high level stuff. And then the second one, the way he manipulated the curve of the ball, and then the spin of the ball, like that's some high IQ level shit. So that showed me what he can do. Okay, but yeah, go ahead.
Um, if you once you finish your thoughts on Giroud, which I definitely agree with so far, I have some breaking news about a Juventus player that you're interested. That's a pretty big name to talk about. That's like 2 minutes ago. So
Okay, no problem, no problem. We'll get into that. Okay, and but the thing that I'm still convinced about Giroud is that his hold-up game is going to be pretty much, let's say, average. Okay, it's not going to be special. It's not going to be like what Ibrahimovic can do. Ibrahimovic is a special player, therefore he can do special things. When it comes to that hold-up play and becoming a regista, offensive regista, then we're talking about maybe he's average. He's not, and let's see. I hope I'm wrong about that, but we'll see because you know eventually he will learn how to play in Milan. Milan likes to play the ball on the ground, likes to the intricate passes. If he can get accustomed to that and do that with Milan, we'll see. I still have my doubts, but let's see what happens during the season. But other than that, his goal scoring ability is really good. I will admit that.
yeah, before I go to this news, just I saw this comment and he said it's against Panathinaikos, which is true, but I still think the first goal, that Giroud scored against Panathinaikos was like no matter like who he's playing against. Okay, the defender could have been more like positioned better to let him run behind, but that was a one touch finish, curved around the keeper with his left foot. That's a quality goal.
No,
In the
no,
fact that he
yeah,
has that touch, I think he can do that against other teams as well. And in the Serie A, not all teams are, Juventus and Inter, like you said. So against the weaker teams, he'll be great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's true. Like obviously, the majority of the teams in Italy are weak teams. They're not great teams. The majority of teams in Italy are on the weaker side. So he can. That's where he those are the games we need to win, guys. Those like honestly, like if we beat the big teams, great. It's better. Better. I'm not going to complain about that. If we beat Juventus, if we beat Inter, hell, that's amazing. Beating most teams is an orgasm. But You win the Scudetto by beating the small teams. We gotta beat the small teams. We can't tie against Sampdoria, tie against Cagliari, lose against Spezia. Those are the games that we need to win. Those are those points that really bring you to the top. And Giroud is going to score those goals there.
Yeah, the first half of the season was pretty amazing because the last game was Atalanta where we lost, and we lost that game. We lost to Juventus, but those were our only losses, I believe, in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And we did get a couple draws that were unlucky, but that's going to happen. Like against Verona or Genoa, where for some reason we conceded like two shitty goals off of like deflections. But even against Verona, we came back and played great. But then the second half of the season, now Inter were pretty much perfect, but we dropped points to Sampdoria, Udinese, um, so many other Spezia we lost, so many situations that you're exactly right. You got to win those games, but once when we were healthy, we were winning those games. So I think I'm pretty confident about that. Um, okay, so just to get into this news before we get into Milan news, it's about Ronaldo.
Oh, CR7. Okay. What is it?
So Romano posted saying, so there's been a lot of discussions about his future because after PSG, apparently he wanted to go to PSG, but they got messy, and so people are starting to like leak some information saying he really wanted to move out and go to PSG. But now they're Romano is saying that PSG, Manchester City, like those two teams with money, are not interested in him right now. But Real Madrid are, and apparently, in the next 15 days before the Mercato closes, there's a possibility that they make a move for him, especially since Ancelotti likes him. So he could be leaving. We don't know. Juventus
Oh,
really, and if you think about it from his perspective, I remember before the season ended or towards the end of the season, he was saying that he wanted certain signings. He wanted another striker to play, and Juventus really haven't made any. I don't like. I don't even know. I can't even name a signing that they've made. Probably some
they
smaller
haven't.
players, right? So they haven't even confirmed Locatelli yet, so they haven't really changed their team. So I'm sure he's worried about that. So
Mm.
that's a possibility.
Okay. Well, listen. If Ronaldo goes away, it's better for Juventus at this point because Ronaldo is keeping Juventus hostage. With the wages that you paid Ronaldo, you can literally buy four players, and then the players that are hungrier, players that are less of the divas. So, at this point, Ronaldo has failed at Juve. Ronaldo's has failed at Juve. Like scoring in the Serie A is not enough. If you don't bring European glory and you're getting that kind of money, you have failed at Juve. So it's the right thing for him to leave at this point, I think.
This is the thing. If Ronaldo leaves now before the end, in like the last 15 days, Juventus aren't going to be able to quickly invest, I think, in a bunch of these different players. So I think their first half of the season with a new coach without Ronaldo is going to be tough. So I think if Ronaldo leaves, he scored like 30 goals in the league last year. Those goals are gone, so they have to redistribute it. But hold on, before you, I know you're going to disagree for something, but but I
Hmm.
think if Ronaldo leaves with a new coach, it's very hard for them to win the Scudetto this year. And right now, I have them as favorites just because of their, just in, overall their Juventus in the past years they've won, and Inter are weaker, so they're my favorites. But without Ronaldo, honestly, I would say Milan might maybe the favorites in my mind if Juventus are out. So
Okay. Well, listen. So these are the things that I think. I think that Ronaldo's not going to leave because why would he leave? He has 1 year guaranteed a contract of 30 million plus. But of course, he probably, if he thinks that he can't, is going towards the end of his career. So if he thinks he can't get any glory with Juventus, European glory, he's probably going to go. He probably wants to go to Real Madrid. But where I disagreed with you, Antonio, is that these last 2 weeks, if they can get players that can score goals, we're still talking about. these last 2 weeks of the transfer market, you're going to see like the names are going to appear that you never think they would have appeared. Things, crazy things happen. Everything that like Mourinho. Remember Mourinho? Nobody knew what Mourinho was up to. They thought he was on holiday in Ibiza, and all of a sudden he's at Roma. You're going to
Well,
get those kind of things.
that's true, but at the same time, I think it's hard for them since Juventus don't want to sell him this summer. And I'm not saying there's a very good chance that he stays. There's a low chance that he's actually leaving, but it's a possibility. But I still think that if he were to leave towards the end, it's too hard for Juventus to just put together a title. Like even if they get good players, it's too hard for them to just put together a Scudetto winning team all of a sudden because they're not really planning for it. We don't
Mm.
know what players they're like. They have to have a plan for which players they want for the system. I think it's very rushed. At least the first half of the season, they're going to be pretty poor if this happens. But in the long term, it could be a good move because they have to rebuild. And even maybe in January, if they want to get some players to reinforce, they
Yeah.
could. But I don't know. I honestly, it's bad for the Serie A. But I just like you always say, I'd like to win some trophies, and I would be I would be very happy if he left. But that's bad for the Serie A, of course. So
At this point, Ronaldo, from a marketing standpoint, is bad for the side, but from a technical point, Ronaldo can get the hell out, as far as I'm concerned, because this guy, for what he gets, he should have won the Champions League with Juventus. So, okay, I'm not really that disappointed that he leaves. If he leaves, he goes. But even if he would have stayed, I still think Milan is better than Juventus, to be honest with you.
um yeah, just this comment is very interesting, and I haven't seen too many confirmations about this. I did hear about this. Can I ask if Mustafa wants to put in where he got the source from? I can do some additional research to see if it's been
Yeah, yeah,
confirmed. But
yeah.
that
Okay.
would be very interesting.
All right, listen, before we get into the news, let me finish the polls and then we'll get into the news and we'll just focus on that, all right? Okay, so let me continue with the polls, guys. We just have a few more left. This one here is the one that to me was the most interesting. And this one here is like it made me understand a lot of things. Here we go. Let me put it up. How do you rate Florenzi's signing to Milan? 37, the majority said bench player. Start 5% starter over Calabria. 22% he will be used as a right winger. 80%, 8% the negatives. I love that. I love the apocalypticos. Milan has no more ideas. It is over. 8%. Excellent player. Great job by the manager. The majority of you think that Florenzi is going to be a bench player, guys. That is crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy. But the majority of you guys think that Florenzi is going to be a bench player. Absolutely insane. All right, two more. Milan seem to have found the formula. Okay, this is for again Florenzi. I'm sure that Antonio will be talking about this. 35% said he's an excellent signing. We're getting three players in one, which is something we will discuss. 4% said meh, he will just sit on the bench all season. Now 4% said what? You see, what's the? There's inconsistency here. Milan Mercato looking decent, but it's not enough. The majority, 44%. And the Apocalypticos said Milan is a joke. What a waste of money, 6%. I would rather get Dalot, 8%. And then our last poll was of the poll that links us to Berardi. If Milan land Berardi, this will be a top transfer market, 42%. I agree with that one. I would rather keep Castillejo, 4%. Again, wow, that's crazy. It won't happen. It is impossible. Berardi will be a Sassuolo forever. 8%. It could actually happen. It's time for Berardi to make the leap. 18%. Milan doesn't have enough pull to make this operation 27%. So the majority of you think that Berardi would make Milan's transfer market a top transfer market, and the Apocalypticos would rather keep Castillo. I love the Apocalypticos. All right, guys. So those were the polls that we did this week. Excellent, excellent. Shows me where you guys are at, and I think it's time, guys, to get into the news and start discussing about all the things that are happening in the Milan world. This is why we have Antonio here. Antonio, are you ready?
Yeah, I was so
Let's do
before
it.
I get into what I wrote down, I
Yeah.
was very captivated by this comment, so I've been doing some research. Unfortunately, I don't see anything recently official that's just gonna that the Saudi takeover is real whatsoever, so I cannot confirm this. But I did find some old sources that are just a little bit speculation, but there apparently has been like we've talked about this before, but I'm just rereading some of the links, and it says that the Saudi Public Investment Fund is was heavily looking at Milan and AC Milan and Inter. So I wouldn't be surprised now that both teams are up for sale. We might start to see some of these rumors if they are up for sale. So this could be
Oh no, no,
very
I know,
interesting.
I know for a fact they're both up for sale.
The thing, yeah, and the thing is this: if so, the mysterious figure that Elliot wants to sell for is around 1 billion, because that's what his goal was to raise as much. Um, Yeah, Eastbourne I just saw Eastbourne's comment. I'm gonna international sports website. I'm not sure how reliable that source is, but I did see that um, Inter, because of their situation, and Elliott, who have made a profitable team now and are open to selling for a big profit of around 1 billion. That's what their goal is. 800
Hmm.
million is a little bit less than what the club is worth right now. It's like 850, I think. But Elliott are trying to build it up to 1 billion. So this is interesting, and I'm actually very interested in this because, as you know,
Yeah.
I've been really hoping for an ownership change for a long time.
This, the first time, the first reports that came out from an Italian newspaper called Il 24 Ore Sole, which is a financial newspaper in Italy, and it is a very reliable source. It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion newspaper. It's not one of these opinion newspapers that pretend to be news. It's just like math. It's just math. It's like this is up for sale. The stocks are this. It's a numbers. It's a numbers newspaper. So it is definitely for sure. It is definitely for sure. And the one owner that I would like the most is the Louis Vuitton guy, Arnault. He is the richest man alive, so I wouldn't mind having him. He said he was interested in Milan, so there you go. And he's he's passionate. He's French. He's tied to the fashion world. So it suits Milan, I think.
I would. Okay, so just a couple things. I also researched him because that was looking like close to happening, but nothing was confirmed, and it kind of died down. The thing is, the difference between him and Mohammed bin Salman or MBS is that MBS has not. So okay, Arnaud is one of like the richest men, like top three. He fluctuates him and Bezos, whatever. But MBS has the wealth of a nation at his disposal, not just one man. So, and the passion that a lot of Middle Eastern countries are now starting to have and are investing in European football. I think that passion is what's leading for that brand that PSG have in Manchester City. So this would be a dream if it did happen. I'm going to be honest, but Arnaud would be a great owner too because he is very wealthy. So
Ollie asked a really good question, and absolutely not. No way. Maldini is the only reason why Milan is going in the direction it's going. The only reason, guys. He is the only reason. Only reason. So if this would mean that Maldini is gone, absolutely not. Not a chance in hell.
So this is just like speculation again. I'm not trying to lift people's hopes, but if he were to come in, I'm not 100% sure he would want to get rid of Maldini because if he chooses Milan, especially over Inter or another club, he probably knows the history and and everyone knows Maldini is a legend, best defender of all time.
I
So
would hope so.
I would think that Maldini would just be given a bigger budget to operate. That would be the ideal situation, but we don't know anything. So
Mm, yeah.
this is very
Yeah.
interesting news.
Yeah. And I think it's going to happen. And okay, if this Saudi guy comes in and he wants to buy Milan, and we have the wealth of a nation behind Milan, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. But we have to remember that when it comes to these politicians, you don't know what's going to happen, right? One day things can turn sour really fast. But whether it's the Saudi guy, whether it's Arnold, uh, we're still going to have a lot of wealth behind AC Milan. And AC Milan is a team that already has amassed throughout its history almost 100 million fans. The trophy cabinet of the trophy, it's not even a cabinet; it's a whole fucking museum. So Milan is a brand that is gigantic, and if you put big players in Milan, Milan becomes a million times bigger than PSG could ever become, Man City could ever become. Milan is one of the big clubs of the history of football. So Milan deserves to have one of these big guys and invest in Milan. So let's hope it happens.
Yeah, and Italy needs a powerhouse team. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Look, you can say that like I'm the first one to make fun of PSG for what they've done. But at the end of the day, what's gonna stop them? Like, is anything really gonna stop these teams from continuing on this trend? So at this point, why I don't want to watch the Serie A get buried by these other European leagues and teams. So getting a powerhouse owner to just come in and just make your team one of the best in the world by investing and really promotes the league. And as a fan, it's just, of course, it'll be more fun to watch us win and be competitive, especially financially. But it'll just be, it's kind of like justice, in my opinion, for what UEFA has done to us
Yeah,
in
yeah.
just over the
I,
past years.
I do have my conditions, bro. Like we have to keep the Italians there, right? It has to still be an Italian club, like Italian, because when you can't, these clubs, whether they're Spanish, French, English, but you need the people from that country that know what the history of these clubs are, know what the tradition are. So as long as Maldini is kept in there, and the coaches, Baresi, Ivani, I don't not Ivani, sorry, I can't remember. Well, whatever the coaches there, whatever they keep on doing. I'm fine with that, but let's not make the club into a club that is not Italian. The club needs to stay Italian the same way. And I think this about any club in any country. German clubs need to stay German. French clubs need to stay French, and blah blah blah. So if they come in and they want to revolutionize everything, take some guy like Maldini out and put some guy that comes from the Premier League. I was like, no, I'm not for that because we're not going to succeed. We're not going to succeed. It's not going to happen, guys. We can have Maradona, Pelé, Zidane, Ronaldo, and whoever in our team, but if we don't have the spirit, the soul, that fire, that's that love that is there since the day you're born, nothing is gonna happen, guys. That's why PSG is gonna fail. That's why the Galacticos failed. That's why whenever you get these teams and you fill them up with these mercenaries, they don't win anything.
Yeah, it's just funny to think about. Just thinking about if this did happen, the players would get it. Imagine if Pioli. I mean, if they come in, I'm pretty sure they're not going to keep Pioli. But imagine if Pioli was given a starting 11 of a 4-2-3-1 with Haaland, Mbappe, De Bruyne, and Jadon Sancho as the top four, and then midfield Kessie, Conte, and then Hakimi, Teo, Van Dijk, and like Ruben Diaz as a back four. Just super teams. It's like this is the type of stuff like what's funny? Are we that far
Yeah,
off from crazy stuff happening? Because look at what PSG have just done. Like it's not they're missing like maybe two positions in their team that are like not world class. Like this is insane.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what the future brings. As of now, I'm very happy in our roster. I'm very happy in the direction we're going. I think we're doing it in a very healthy way. I think Elliot has done an excellent job at managing their investment or whatever. Yeah, it is an investment at this point, but they're trying to
As a
make it into a.
business, as a business, they're geniuses because they've taken us out of our debt and slow and steady. They've invested just enough to make us a good team, and they're about to sell now for a good profit. That's what they want. They wanted to make a huge profit, so they're going to do that. They're going to get rich, and that's what they're ultimately in for. And then whatever the next
Right.
owner is, that we'll see what happens. But Roy, ultimately, I hope you understand. Like as much as Elliot are good at business, we still eventually like need another owner to be
Yeah, I know, I
competitive
know.
in
I'm
Europe.
I'm extremely aware of that. I know that Elliot is not a long term thing. It's not. I know what their business is. I'm aware of this, and I think now is a good time to start selling the club. I don't think we should wait for the stadium because this could take forever, knowing the bureaucracy in Italy. I don't think Elliot wants to take that risk. That's not how you know the market works. Right? You sell when you're at a peak because then if the peak goes down, then you can't ask for a billion. Now you can ask for a billion, but if Milan fail this season or fail in the next few seasons, you can't ask for a billion anymore.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll tell you. Let's get to the news. Let's
Okay.
start the news segment.
All right. So the first player is you started. I'm not sure how much you said because I joined a little bit after. Um, but I said so. Obviously, Florenzi is the most likely the next signing. So I don't know how much you said about him. Did you say anything about the terms, or did you just say that you like him as a
I'm
player?
I'm leaving that to you.
Okay. So obviously, so we're entering the final stages because it was initially already announced as okay final stages advanced for Florenzi with Roma like last week, but they were still negotiating over whether it was a loan with obligation or loan with option to buy, and apparently today Roma have accepted the option to buy, so they've been so the negotiations are going really well now, which is what we want him for because we don't want to like have to be forced to pay for him. So Milan management are being very thorough with their negotiations. And the last thing to be settled is like how much they're going to be paying exactly for like the loan deal, which is I guess estimated to be around 1 million, and then the option to buy like 4.5. So like around a total of like 5 million. So in that ballpark, that's basically what they're saying. But this is
Hmm.
confirmed by Di Marzio, so this is like really official. And also just to point out, if we were the stream was kind of on break a bit last week, but I
Yeah.
actually DM'd Di Marzio and he responded to my DM, and
Nice.
I asked him after the Florenzi news came out, like next day, because I was like, I told the stream and I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh, this could happen. This could be done in the next day. I asked him to confirm whether or not it was going to be a done deal, and he's like, it's not done, but it's like both. Everyone wants the deal to happen, so they're moving very quickly, basically. So that I wanted to update the stream with that, but I couldn't, so I just
That's
wanted to say
awesome.
that now.
That's awesome. Okay, so I think the deal makes sense. I think that Roma know that eventually Milan is going to want to keep this player, so it's not the kind of risk that Milan is going to just use him for 1 year and then not pay the 5 million. Florenzi is such a good player that he is going to etch he's going to carve his spot in AC Milan. And I just want to remind everybody, since we're um, in the Florenzi subject right now, just really fast. I want to go to the tactical board just real fast. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I just want to remind you guys that by getting Florenzi, we are getting a player that can play in three different positions, right? So let's take Calabria, Salamakers, and more. Morkesi. Well, he's more a mezzala, right? But you see, these three spots, like he can play here perfectly. He can play here perfectly, and he can play here perfectly. So you're getting literally three players in one. And guys, the best thing about this is that if we do get a right winger and we decide to play, let's say, it will give Milan the opportunity to actually play a 4-3-3, a real 4-3-3. Because let's say we get a right winger, we can put Leao here, and whoever that right winger is, hopefully it is the guy that we're going to be talking about in a bit. But you can have Florenzi as a mezzala. Guys, imagine having Kessi, Florenzi as a mezzala, Benasser as your regista, and then you still get to keep Calabria here. And then Florenzi, you can change it with Salamakers. Like that team, guys, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So Florenzi, as I said, and I'll say it one more time, guys. I know you guys think I'm crazy. I know you guys think I'm crazy when I say this. From a tactical standpoint, not technical, not market wise. From a tactical standpoint, Florenzi is a better signing than all the signings PSG has done. So there you go. That's how happy I am about this signing if it comes to fruition. Which it looks like it is, right? I'm telling
Yep, it's looking like it'll be done very soon. That is the next signing. People, everyone is saying. So that is likely to go through. I do just want to say that I have like around 50 minutes left before I have to sign off. So I'm just
you. Yeah.
gonna move through these, and then if we have time after, we can answer some questions.
All right, go
But
for it.
so the next player is Adli, because he's another
Aha.
one that is being linked with. So as of now, there's no confirmation of it being a done deal, but both the president has confirmed that they're negotiating with Milan, and the player is agreed to the move. So basically, it's another situation where all three of basically are interested and want to get the deal done. There's no competition from other teams, and the club are saying that they want around 10 million for, but they're still negotiating the price, so we don't know what it's going to be. Um, and yeah, so that is looking like it's another deal that everyone wants to get done. So it's more likely than unlikely to be completed, but it
Mm.
could just collapse. We don't know. So it's not as far along as Florenzi, basically.
Okay, all right. Okay. So we're not that close to Ali, according to what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, when it's not a done deal or anything, they have to make agreements about him and decide if they really want to invest the money that Bordeaux want. But
Mm.
it's not a done deal yet, I would say.
Okay, well, let's see. I mean, we do need another midfielder. Pobega is definitely leaving. We know that for sure. That is pretty much sure.
On
We know
loan.
Pobega. Yeah, we know he's going on loan. Do we know what club he's going to? Have words come out about which club he's going to?
So it's not confirmed, but there's a couple Serie A teams that want him. Cagliari, I think Sampdoria, maybe some other
Mm.
teams, but those are two. Cagliari is probably in the most likely destination as of now, but it's likely to be a loan. But it's not like it still isn't certain that he's going to be loaned, but that's what's most likely.
All right. Okay. Okay. There you go. Okay. What else?
So the next player is someone that you love. I like him a lot. So Berardi, obviously. Um, there is, since Ziyech and Ilicic are looking very unlikely now because of their situations. Berardi is becoming more of like a concrete idea for the team, and they're saying that they're trying to, like, it's the most likely solution is a loan of 5 million, an option to buy a 25 million for one season. So that's what people are saying as of like how they want to formulate it. Sassuolo want 35 million, so another 5 million,
Give
and they
him,
would.
give him to him right now. That's nothing. 35 million for Berardi is cheap. It's cheap. It's
And
cheap. If Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, and they do want like an option, like instead of a loan, they would prefer to just have the money like most teams. So it's hard to deal with them, and nothing is advanced whatsoever. That's just an idea as of now.
Yes. 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 It is so cheap because we know that if Berardi was British and he played in the EPL, Berardi would be 120 million. Would be 100, like Tottenham would be paying 130 million for this player. Man City will be paying 150 million for this player if he was British and if he played in England. 35 million for Berardi, guys. I mean, it's literally peanuts. What is Milan doing, man? Get this player right away. This player is top class. We have this player and Florenzi and Giroud, and we get maybe we'll see what else you're going to be talking about, and and that extra midfielder. My God, man, this team is going to be insanely stacked. But it needs to happen. I mean, 35 million for this player is peanuts. It's peanuts. Milan need to get this operation done.
Yeah. Before I comment, I love this Eastbourne comment because I did actually read that Lukaku called Serie A tactically and technically a better league than England. So you love to see those comments.
Wait. When did you say that?
It came out today. He actually he was announced.
But I mean, honestly, that's not really a secret. I mean, we all know that from a technical perspective, Italy is better than England. Spain is better than Italy.
Well,
Tactically, we know that Italy is at the top of everybody else. Technically, Spain is the best. Then probably you want to put Portugal next. Italy is probably the third best. Technically.
yeah, but what I thought was interesting. Number one is even though we know that's true, the way that Lukaku said it, he said is a better league. Like I'll find. Let me pull up the exact quote that I found. But the way he said it, I wasn't expecting him to just be so bold in saying that because most players, even though it's higher intensity, the English media always says that they just assume that it's a better league because of that. So
Yeah,
the
they're
way
really
that
good at hyping it up.
yeah, um, yeah, but he said tactically and technically it's a better league. So that was basically what. Yeah, just I was just making sure that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, we saw it even in the final of the Euro Cup. What's up, Pete? We even saw it in the final of the Euro Cup. Just Italy, Italians in general. When it comes to technique on the ball, they're one of the best. They're not the best. They're one of the best. When it comes to intensity, that's the thing. Like I have said that a lot of times. Like in England, you're in fifth gear from minute 1 to minute 90. You're in fifth gear. The Italian players do not do that. Italian players like to play first gear, second gear, go to fourth, come back to third, go to fifth, go back to first. In England, it's just fifth gear all the time, 90 minutes straight.
Right. And for someone who's a new fan, it's not only do they advertise well, but they advertise this style and which is entertaining, but it's sloppy at times. So
It is more entertaining, yeah.
but I think it's entertaining, but I do think that someone who's experienced that and knows a lot about football will enjoy the Serie A lot if they start to understand it.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're more enamored with the intricacies of football, you're probably going to enjoy Serie A more. But if you want action-packed football and just not really think, just be entertained, I mean, I think the Premier League does an excellent job of that. I mean, I see their games. The stadium's always packed. The fields look beautiful. Everything is so well built, so well organized, and the commentators are really good at hyping up. I mean, fuck, we hear these commentators that are commentating the Italian games. It's like, man, it looks like you're about to. It looks like they're about to fucking fall asleep.
I'm
I
yeah.
mean, the English commentators do a real good job at hyping up the
Well,
games.
yeah. Like in America, when I would watch on ESPN Plus or whatever services, they they would have English commentators, but I feel like they're second tier English commentators, and they would get kind of bored, and you could tell um they were more like they're kind of Premier League fans, but they're looking for jobs, so they're
Right,
commentating on Serie
right.
A games. And actually, a great example of
Exactly.
this, and I don't think he's particularly a bad commentator, but he definitely has a Premier League bias, and it's just an example of someone who like is like these people. So Stuart Robson, if you know who he is, he's like this bald. He's an ESPN guy. He's bald, and he's
Oh yeah, I
British.
know. Yeah, I know.
I
I
was
know. Yeah.
watching before the Euros. He was like outside of Wembley, and he was talking about how like Italy versus England. He made a such a he was making bold predictions, saying, "Oh, England are going to comfortably win this because they play faster pace." And so here and there, basically insinuating that the Premier League, and he watches like a lot of Serie A because that's his job, but he's still, and he knows these players, but he's still like given to that like belief. So that's what I mean. That these are like commentators who are just kind of biased, and so they just assume that games are kind of they think the games are boring, so that's why they have like kind of a relaxed attitude, so they're not that fun. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways,
It's quite. Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to talk
Finish.
about this comment, but you can go ahead.
Oh no, I think it's quite interesting that these they say because in England they play so fast. Guys, playing fast is way easy. Well, I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, you playing fast is not. It means you're athletically, you're fit, and you're thinking. But slowing the game down is more difficult than playing fast. Slowing the game down is much more IQ, much more manipulation of tempo, manipulation of space, how your first touch, right? Your first touch could literally kill a whole opposition, right? It could literally you could literally lopside a whole opposition to the other side with your first touch. So this idea that because you play fast, you have an advantage is absolutely not true. Of course, you need to know how to play fast, but not all the time.
Yeah, and just because like I get really frustrated about these comments, I was actually watching. Okay, so I agree 100% with you that if I'm being honest, the Premier League is fun because of the stadiums and the atmosphere. Um, on the one hand, on the other hand, I don't like how they're cocky. I don't like how
Yeah,
some of the fans, even though they're passionate, they're either they've shown racism and they've shown arrogance
I
and
agree
they've
with
beat up other like Italian people. They insulted black players, and that is a whole other side that everyone is, and they're very they assume with their songs and whatever that they're going to win. But I was watching the Premier League opening week because number one is Serie A. I do watch all like as many leagues as possible because I like to like watch all the different leagues, and Serie
you.
A
Yeah,
isn't on yet. So I was watching that, and the Brentford versus Arsenal game, when Brentford, it was the opening game of the season, they won 2-0 versus Arsenal, and it was their first time in the Premier League in like 74 years. So they played at home, and so it was a pretty amazing like atmosphere, and it was a good game to watch. But um, what really got me pissed off was one of the commentators. It was on the cable TV that I was watching for whatever. I don't want to say like the channel, but he was British commentator for America. Like it's on this, he was only commentating for the American audience, and he actually kind of insulted the Italian league randomly because basically they were pressing. The ball was played to one of the center backs, and he was pressed really quickly because he was taking his time, so he like lost the ball, and it was like, oh, we're not in Italy. This is the Premier League. You can't just you
salty,
can't do that stuff. And I was
so
like,
salty.
okay, so I was like, wow, you're gonna name drop Italy like that. In Italy, the center backs actually know how to pass and control the ball, so it's not like they would just make those mistakes anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
no, they're super salty. They're super salty, and right now even more so after what happened in the Euros. But you know what? It's okay. It's honestly okay. Let them say what they do because it only. This is the thing about England. It's like your attitude is the reason why you don't win internationally. Like if you would stop that, you would actually win. But it's good for us that they keep on doing that kind of stuff because it gives us a psychological advantage when we play against them. But to be fair, guys, you have to give it to the EPL. It's a fantastic league. I mean, the way it's presented, we were talking about this, the fields, the atmosphere, it's great entertainment. But one thing I do want to say that Italian commentators are really good. The commentators in Italy, the ones that do the Italian commentary, are really good, and they really hype up the league, and they really make it entertaining. The problem is the English commentators that comment the Italian league. You know that they don't give a shit about what they're watching. Like you said, they're probably EPL fans. It sounds like they're falling asleep as they're watching it because there's no passion. They don't care. But I got to give it for Italian commentators are brilliant to listen to. But guys, do not worry because our watch-alongs, we are going to commentate the games and we're going to hype Milan. We're going to make sure that Milan is treated with respect. So be so when we have AC Milan games, if you want to hear AC Milan commentary, join us. You can watch the game, put that shit on mute, and listen to us because we're going to give you much better commentary. All
Roy,
right.
I actually just on this point before I will talk about this comment that I saw. I wanted to talk to you about an idea about how to stream games without getting like caught or copyright striked. That I kind of found because for the Panathinaikos game, there was like it wasn't broadcasted in the United States on like anything, and I watch all my games legally, like. But when there's a Milan game that isn't being broadcasted, I still find a way to watch it no matter what. So I kind of have an idea to talk to you about, but we can talk about that later.
Okay. All right. All right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
All
So
right.
about
Let's yeah. Let's move on.
so about this comment, I was also thinking, okay, so Vlasic is worth around. They value him at 30 million, and that's how much these ideas about Berardi are coming. We're not going to be able to get both of them. Like it's impossible. I think right now
Why not? Why not?
because they're both valued at 30 million by the and actually Sassuolo values them at 35 for Berardi.
But we don't need to pay them all in one, right?
We don't, but both teams, both Moscow and Berardi and Sassuolo want like they that's what they're like they want. They want us to pay like full like all the price instead of loaning one out. So it's
Mm.
very unlikely unless we negotiate some genius deal to get them. But I think so. Right now, I think the management is trying to see if Elliot can invest the money for one of these players, and to see
Mm.
which one becomes more likely, and if the other position will either be a very cheap player or not even a player, maybe for the right wing. I don't know if we're going to get a right winger if we can't get someone that's really good. So it's interesting to see how we handle the financial situation.
Yeah. Well, look, we have exactly 15 days till the end of the market. But our experience with AC Milan is that in these last 15 days, anything can happen. So I honestly wouldn't put anything off of the table. I wouldn't think anything is impossible. All of this is just. I'm more positive than negative. I think miracles do happen, and if they happen, they're not going to happen in this. They're going to happen next week. By the way, 7 days from today, guys, our beloved AC Milan starts its new campaign, 21-22 campaign. So we are going to do a watch along for that, guys. And again, I'm going to reiterate: watch the game, mute that shit, and listen to our commentary. We're going to commentate the Milan game the way it should be commentated, because Milan needs proper English commentary. The English commentary of Milan is terrible. We are going to be the ones that are going to fix that.
Yep, and like I always say, I remember when I was so personally, I need to. It's hard for me to watch a stream while I do the game because I get so intense when I'm watching. But I remember when we played against Juventus after the Diaz goal, I tuned into the watch along and I just heard you going crazy. You were like, "What a goal by Diaz!" And it was so fun to. It was so fun. I mean, that game was many people's favorite game of the season, but it was so fun to just be with in the chat and just especially Roy, you're a Juventino, so it was fun
Oh my
to
god!
just like make to joke around. But
What a dig!
it was that was a great game.
That was my favorite game of the whole season. Because honestly, not to fight back against these Juventino claims, but for me, beating Juventus is always the best thing because I see Juventus in Italy is the team that has won the most, is the most difficult team to beat. So when we beat Juventus, that's when I feel the best. I feel better beating Juventus than when we beat Inter. So that was my favorite game my whole season.
Yeah, and just to bring up Tomori because in that game, he scored and that was just like I just reminded of him. I just want to I mean, I'm sure everyone in the chat and like has agrees that what a masterclass signing Tomori is. Not only is he aggressive and he's quick, so he's perfect to balance out our defense, but he's also a skilled passer as well, and his aerial
Yep.
abilities are good. I would say he needs to improve maybe in his slight positioning in some senses, but that can be improved on. But everything else in his game looks very good, and we only paid 28 million when like Varane, who's an older center back, is going for a lot more, and Ben White to Arsenal. They
Right.
paid 50 million for him, which is
And
unbelievable.
and this is why I'm so happy, guys, because I mean it's not just Tomori; it's these other signings too. Like we are not buying the stars of yesterday. We are buying the stars of tomorrow. That is so much better. And so far, these players are showing that they're going to be the stars of tomorrow. Okay, how far do you think Milan will go in the CL, guys? I the other day said that we're going to win the treble, we're going to win the Coppa Italia, Serie A, and Champions League.
Roy, okay. I was actually gonna say, Roy's like like I've literally written down Roy's exact words to this question because we've gotten it so many times. But Roy literally says we're gonna make it to the semifinal, and then anything can happen from there. He said that so many times, but I guess now you're saying we're gonna win the treble, but I don't think that's a serious.
Yeah, yeah. If we get Florenzi and we get like Berardi, guys, we're winning the Champions League. We're winning the Champions League.
But as of now, are you still sticking with your semifinal prediction?
Well, okay, okay. Let's talk in real terms. Let's talk in real terms. All right.
Sure.
Now, honestly, I feel like we can actually do the treble. I honestly do feel that we can, but I know realistically speaking, the possibilities of that are very slim because there's a lot of factors that can happen. Injuries, bad call. There's a lot of things that can happen that can prevent a team from achieving their objectives. But I do think that there's one thing that Milan has, and again, I'm very attentive to this. I'm very attentive to this. The spirit. Milan has the spirit that I haven't seen since uh, the Ancelotti era. And this spirit is dangerous. When we have this spirit, we're a very difficult team to beat in Europe. So, you know, we got to see how the group stages go. Realistically speaking, we could get a really tough group stage, a group of death. Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Ajax, Milan. So we have to, in order for us to go through, we have to kick out two of those teams, which is not an easy task. But I do think that Milan can do it because one, I think they will underestimate Milan because in the world of football, unless you have big names, people underestimate you. But I know that that is not true. Being a follower of the Serie A, I know that you don't need big names to win. You need good players to win, and Milan has good players. And I will reiterate, a spirit. Milan has a spirit. Guys, and I'm serious about. I'm not being biased. If you would have asked me this question 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said no, man. We're not gonna get into the top four. We're not gonna do because we never had the spirit. We never had that Milan spirit. But now we have the Milan spirit. We have the red and black Diavolo Rosso Nero spirit, and that spirit, guys, can make us achieve big things. So I think if everything goes smoothly, as far as injuries, as far as good calls, we can make it to the semifinals, and anything can happen in the semifinals. Anything can happen. Okay, and on the flip side, we could be eliminated in the group stages and become like Inter. All right, sure, that can happen. Anything is possible. But I will say it one more time, then we'll move on. Milan this time has a spirit that in the past has made us win big trophies. So when we have the spirit, I'm very confident in our ability to go forward. If I was Milan's coach right now, I'd be very confident in this team. So that's what I think.
Yeah, and Roy, who's Matic?
Adam Matic is a Manchester United fan that has a YouTube channel. Really cool guy, really good guy. A very smart dude. Very, I like his takes. Very humble, a very humble guy. Actually, both G Red Devil Studio and Adam Matic, both genuinely humble people that do not that kind of are not the stereotypical EPL fans. So yeah, really good guys. I agree with you, Eastbourne. We should definitely do that.
Okay, and just before I get into the last news, 'cause I do like these conversations. I just want to get the news out of the way. This comment, yeah, he could be a bit better in like short passes, but long passes, he's improved so much. He's pretty accurate in his long passes. I've noticed that, and he looks confident, and especially with the way we play, he's good at passing the ball up to the striker. Like Kjaer does that a lot, and now he's kind of learning from him, so he's definitely improving in that sense. But yeah, I guess he could be a bit better at distributing. He does look a little bit awkward. I do agree with that because he kind of the way he stands on the ball is a little bit weird, but he doesn't really turn it over ever. So I mean, you can't really get mad at him.
Yeah, look, when it comes, if I were to speak about Tomori just in general, I kind of agree with you that one thing that I do see is his positioning, and also he's young. Like guys, young defenders are going to make mistakes. So a defender learns their traits with experience. The mistakes you make are basically is your experience and learning. Okay, this is what I can. This is what I don't have to do. This is what I won't do next time, etc., etc. So Tomori is going to make mistakes, guys. Tomori is not Superman, right? Nesta made mistakes. Maldini made mistakes. Baresi made mistakes.
Yeah,
Tomori is going to make mistakes, but
takes
he's going to be very good. He looks like he's in his in a is going to look good. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tix says I'm just gonna warn you now. I can't take any more Tomori slander. He's too good for that. But I'm just kidding. Yeah, okay. He definitely can still improve, but he has everything, and I believe this. He has everything he needs to be world class center back, and he's on his way. And you know what strikes me is something important is that I watch a lot of. I go on different like Italian in general media, like
Do you
about the
speak
Serie A.
Italian?
Yes, I
Do you
do.
speak Italian? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, and I go on a lot of Italian media sources and like Italian American, whether it be IFTV or whatever the media is, and I see other fans that usually like talk a bunch of trash about Milan, like Inter fans, Juventus fans, whatever, and all of them rate Tomori so highly, even though like they trash a lot of our other players. And I think that Tomori, like he's proved himself so quickly in Serie A. And like if you think back to the games against like Fiorentina, against Vlahovic, he pocketed him. Like Vlahovic maybe had one like play where he beat Tomori, he like muscled him, but other than that, Tomori was pretty exceptional. So
But on the flip side, you can also say that look at Tomori against Raspadori. Raspadori pocketed Tomori.
right.
So you're going to have moments where Tomori is going to cost Milan points. Expect this to happen. But what I'm asking all our beloved friends, all our beloved brothers and sisters, our Rossoneri family, when this happens, please do not put his head on a pike because we don't need another Romagnoli kind of thing where we lose a player. We got to accept that our players will make mistakes, and when they make mistakes, you have to push them back up. You have to be positive.
Right, and I just want to say that I've always said that Tomori had two bad games with Milan. And other than that, I said he's been near perfect, but it was the Sassuolo game and the Lazio game back to back. I don't know what happened, but he had just a couple positioning mistakes. But the thing is, the difference between him and Romagnoli, and the reason why I rate him higher, is that I don't see him making the same exact mistakes over and over again. And I'm not going to put Tomori's head on a pike because I know he has more quality than Romagnoli personally. I know we're going to disagree on that, but
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to talk about
yeah.
Tomori for 3 hours. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next conversation or to the
Okay.
next topic.
So just quickly, Milan do rate Darami, which is Mohamed Darami, the right wing forward player from Copenhagen. He's 19. He's valued at 8 to 10 million, and they are
Yeah.
looking at him, but it's not looking like it's going to happen necessarily for this Mercato. But he's still very young, and he's a forward player. He's pacey. He's a scouting prospect, so it looks like that maybe could happen. But there's just interest in him. I really like this player from what I've seen.
Okay. So, but this is a link that is more a speculative link.
Yeah,
Where
it's
is
not
this link
saying
coming
that
from?
we're going to get him, but it's saying that we're scouting him heavily. So maybe
Okay.
either in the
Okay.
future or in January or potentially like it doesn't look like it's going to happen now, but we are interested
Hmm.
in him.
Okay. Yeah. This is. I've heard about this player. I'm all about these youngsters that might potentially become great players. Hey, all good. So, did we talk about Blazic?
No, I
Did
was
we do
about to
that?
actually talk about him, but
Ah, okay,
just
okay.
yeah, one
Yeah,
last thing.
go
So
ahead.
this comment I'm seeing, okay, Tomori, like Chelsea does keep producing talents. That's true. Chaloba did score a goal, which is really good recently. But I still, when Tomori was sold, the fans were, of course, they all regretted it. And also, I don't think these fans are watching Milan games every week, so they can't really see that Tomori is improving and is a great defender. Um, Rohit, I disagree so much with this comment.
Well, I
Honest.
mean, Hagway is for some people is a really good player, bro.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, I think he gets disrespected a lot. But that's another debate we've had so many times. So
But I think what Rohit is saying, and I kind of agree, is that these players that are really good in Scandinavia, they come to these bigger leagues and they don't produce as much as as they produce in Scandinavia. The level of football is very different.
I
These
will.
players are probably better suited for the EPL, for the German league, but when they come to like Spain, to the Latin countries, I think they struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I will just add that he performed really well in the U21 Euros, which is how like he went on the radar for Denmark. And I do see like okay, they're both cheaper players that are pretty young, and so they're going to be like small investments that we could sell for profit. But at the same time, yeah, like Hauge didn't have the time, like or he just said, to like improve. So I think, but I do kind of think that if Darami is more of a right wing player, he maybe will find more time on the right wing because the left wing is more crowded. So
Mm,
that may be worth pointing out.
okay, all right. Well, there you go. We can move on.
Okay. And then so Vlasic, basically Milan haven't made a new bid. And obviously Moscow want like value him at around 30 to 25 million, and they want like just the money. They don't want loan deals.
Mm,
Vlasic wants the move, but the price tag, is high, and Milan haven't improved their bid. But he's another idea for the end of the Mercato because honestly, I think that they're trying to see how much they can invest for like a forward player because we need to make forward signings after we get Florenzi, especially. And
yeah.
another piece of news is saying that we have 3 to 4 more signings to make, and one of them would be Florenzi. One of them is going to be a central midfielder, but and 1 to 2 forward players at least. So that is what we're looking at. But so we're trying to figure out the best way to spend the money, and they have to
Mm,
see how much they really can spend in the formulas to make like loan with option for like a Berardi, but we can't get both Berardi and Vlasic. It's too hard right now. If we
mm,
did, that'd be a master. I'd be a master class mercato, to be honest.
yeah, you seem convinced that we can't, huh?
Both of them, it's very unlikely. Very unlikely.
Mm. Well, let's see, guys. I mean, after we have 15 days, after 15 days, thank God, finally, we will not be talking about the transfer market anymore. But I do believe in miracles. So let's keep your hopes up and let's see what happens. Even if one of the, honestly, not so much Blazic, Berardi. If for me personally, if Berardi would join AC Milan and you have Florenzi, and we get a midfielder, oh my God, guys, we are stacked. And then Pioli has also the option of different formations. He can go to a 4-3-3. He can do a 4-2-3-1. He can do a 4-4-2. Well, not so much. It depends. I think if we only get Berardi, I think Pioli will have to abandon the attacking the cam position and rather use the second striker position. If we don't get a cam, then I don't think we're going to be using the cam role that much this season. So having said that, I do expect them to get a cam. I do expect them to get a cam. Um, so this is why I'm like keeping my hopes up, and why I believe in miracles because I've seen it before. I remember Galliani, Berlusconi said, "Man, it's impossible. We can't get anybody. No, no way. It's impossible." Blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, last day of the mercato, things happen. I mean, look at Chiesa, right? Chiesa was one of the biggest signings last year. Chiesa happened in the last days of the mercato, guys. So we got to see what the last day brings. Those last few days they're going to be key. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, a couple like two pieces. One is about the stadium, but one is just about the last player. So Sport Italia did like 2 days ago. Said that Milan are preparing a new bid for Warren Bondo, which is like that midfielder that kind of just disappeared that we were close to buying. I think they're deciding because the club want 2 million for him, and so basically Milan didn't give what they wanted, and they're still seeing. I think they're weighing up whether to make a new bid for him or not. So we don't know if we're gonna get him, but it's like 2 million is there to get him. So it's very feasible if we just decide to buy him or not.
Wait, who?
Warren Bondo, the Nancy
Oh,
midfielder.
oh, oh, Warren Bondo. Okay, okay. Yeah, Warren Bondo is would be for the Primavera, though, right?
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, yeah. I don't expect a 17-year-old to come and start dominating Italian midfielders, but that'd be great. I love the fact that we are putting an effort into the youth.
Yeah, Warren
Yeah.
Bondo. Yeah. And then also Pierre Duomo, which is the other young midfielder. Apparently, it is confirmed that we talked to his agents, but as of now, it's looking like the deal won't happen. So he was the other like 17-year-old midfielder from Genk, and that's kind of had like he's had a problem with like the coach there, so he's kind of like in a limbo. But I don't think we're gonna get him this summer.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Again, I think also that Milan must have some Italians, right? Some domestic players that are good that they can use for this Prima. The Venezuelan guy has arrived, right? That was official.
Yeah, Paraguayan, I think.
Paraguay, that guy's official, right?
Yeah, I mean, his agent was basically said that they were just getting the international paperwork sorted out. Um, but yeah, I did say it was a done deal a while ago, but they're just kind of like I don't think they're going to announce it like on their like Instagram. He's a Primavera player, so
Right, right.
it's not going
And
to be.
then we let go of an Italian defender to Juve, right?
Did we? I thought we let go of one. Uh, I think named Michaelis, and I think he went to. I don't. He definitely didn't go to Juve.
No,
Which player?
I know we did. Yeah, it was one of our Primavera defenders, an Italian kid, joined Juventus. I do know that.
Oh, let me just find his name.
He's already training with the Primavera. Rohit, who is already training with the Primavera?
Probably Hugo Cuenca is his name. Is the
Ah,
Paraguayan.
okay. Ciao,
Um.
Rossoneri fan.
His name is. Is it Chiti?
Yes,
Alessandro Chiti.
that's the guy. Yeah. So we lost that guy to Juve.
I mean, I haven't really seen him play too much, so I'm not too sure how good he is. He's not like one of
I
our
don't
star
know.
players.
Right, I don't know anybody of these Primavera players. But yeah, I like that Milan is putting effort into the Primavera. I want to say something here to tick size. Diaz is going to be our starting cam with Maldini as a backup. Actually, I think Maldini is more of a cam than Diaz is because I don't. Diaz is just honestly Diaz is a second striker. He's not really a cam, is he? Like Diaz is a player you want him to be closer to the goal rather than not. You want him to be more like in. If you were to divide the field in in fourths and quarters, you have your first quarter, your second quarter, which is the half. Then you have your third quarter, and then you have your fourth quarter. Like he should be playing in that fourth quarter, just between the fourth quarter and the third quarter. A Cam plays in the third quarter, and then like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think Maldini is actually a better suited. His his attributes are better suited for a cam because Maldini's can be physical and Maldini wins the ball in the opposition's half. I mean, guys, that's the best thing. I'm telling you, like coaches, they have orgasms when their attackers or their cams win the ball in the opposition's half. Literally, that's a coach's wet dream. So it's incredible that Maldini can do that. Now, this is just a speculation, a tactical speculation I'm having. I think that Milan is going to be more second striker more than the real Cam, right? But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Diaz.
Hmm.
Yeah, Diaz next to Ibra was devastating. Yeah, and right. I think those two players, guys, that's a lot of technical ability together. Any news on Ibra?
Yeah. Well, for Ibra, the recovery is. I mean, the only news really is about his recovery because that's what's happening with him. They're saying that he's projected to come back for the Lazio game, and that's also when Kessie is like tentatively projected to come back to. Um, the thing is, so we're gonna be missing the Sampdoria and Cagliari games. Like we're gonna play them without those two players, so it can be tough. But we have Giroud. It's just the midfield. We have to see how that holds up. So yeah, that's no new news as of now, but that's kind of what they're saying about him. Um, the last thing I just have is just about the Cagliari game, and apparently, Milan confirmed today that there's going to be a 50% fan capacity in the San Siro for that game.
Nice.
So the fans
So
are coming back.
nice, good. Hopefully, the team won't suffer the fans. Because I think COVID, even though in the beginning it helped our youngsters not feel the pressure of the fans, because basically you're just playing a training game. It's very different playing a game with nobody watching you. It literally feels like you're just playing a game and training. But when you have the fans pushing you, whistling you, and the opposition fans, it's a whole different story. I hope this young AC Milan team is not going to suffer the fans. I hope so. I mean, let's see how that goes.
Yep,
All right,
remember we have
anything else?
Ibra to calm everyone down. So
Right. Okay, anything else? What about the other teams in Serie A? Anything interesting happening with them?
yeah, I mean I've seen around. like from big teams to small teams, there's been news. Roma, obviously, we talked about Abraham, who I like as a player. That was a pretty surprising 40 million move. Um, I've
Well,
seen. Yeah,
you
what's up?
see, you were surprised. You were surprised, right?
I was surprised that they spent 40 million on a player.
Milan will surprise you. Let's see.
Yep, I hope so. Hold on, I just saw a James link. Let me just make sure this isn't like something serious. Uh, hmm. This is it's not too serious, but I do see some different players being linked all the time. But so for Serie A in general, an interesting move that no one is really talking about. Simi, who is the Crotone striker, who scored like 21, I think, 21, 22 goals for Crotone. He's really tall, and he's signing with Salernitana, who won Serie B pretty comfortably, so they're a decent team. We have lower ranked teams signing American players like Venezia. Um, Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything huge. Um, Nandes is being linked with like some English teams like Tottenham, so that's pretty interesting. And oh, so I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but their Atletico made a bid of 60 million for Vlahovic. I don't know if you saw that, but
Yeah, I did see.
Fiorentina aren't looking like they want to sell him even for 60 million. So it's they kind of died down after that bid was made. So it's not looking like it's going to happen as of now, but it might change. And
Mm.
Eastbourne actually, it's a good comment. So the women, AC Milan women are playing a Champions League qualification game. I'm just getting the date up right now. Let me just see. Against Zurich, and I think it's actually today, which would be
Oh,
August
nice.
17th. Um,
All right, guys.
yeah, so they're playing it is at. So I mean, my time isn't
Is
really gonna
anybody gonna watch
matter.
that? Is anybody gonna watch at what time?
Well, my time is it's I think it would be like 11 your time, 11 a.m. your time.
Mm. All right, okay. I don't care that much about the women's team. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I occasionally watch them, but not too serious.
Ali, you forget that our best performance came after the team was cheered on pre-game by the Curva Sud, Lazio, Juve, Atalanta every single time. Yes, the Curva Sud is not really what worries me, to be honest with you. It's more of the people in the middle, the guys that don't understand football, but are whistling our players because they don't understand football.
A couple other names, but Serie A. Cutrone went back to Empoli. Um,
Oh, Cutrone.
Not back, but he went to Empoli, so returned to Serie A. Um,
Mm.
we talked about Denzel Dumfries and Dzeko to Inter. Some other players that are not really worth talking about. And Roma and Atalanta are both interested in Dennis Zakaria, who's like a Swiss midfielder who plays. He's like a really physical box to box midfielder who plays in the Bundesliga, and he played for the on the Euro team. Um,
Mm.
that's basically it. Like from what I've seen,
All
Juventus
right, okay.
Locatelli, they're still trying to close the deal. There's
I
a
think
bit.
tomorrow's the last day. That's what I read. Tomorrow's the last day for Juventus and Locatelli. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're really informed about Juventus, Roy. Just,
Guys, I
you know.
love Juventus, man. I love Juventus.
He's been you've been waiting for the transfer news for Juventus to come out, but there's been nothing so far. So
I love Inter. I love Juve. I love Lazio, Fiorentina. I love all of Serie A. Serie A is my family, so I love all of my family. But I want to beat them. I want to beat them. I don't want to lose against them, but I love them.
yeah, I
And
can't. I'm never gonna
Roma
say I
needs a
love
slap in.
Juventus.
Roma needs a slap in the face, though.
You hate Roma fans above
I
everything.
don't hate Roma. I just think they're an embarrassment to Italian football, but I don't hate them. I want them to do well. I want Roma to freaking respect the name of their freaking team. You're the capital of the country. You are this name that historically is one of the most important cities of the whole planet, and these guys are going and losing 7-0 to Manchester United. They embarrassing team. Roma is an embarrassment to Italian football.
Yeah. Um, I'm also seeing,
I
like
live in I live in the USA, Rossoneri fan. Where do you live? Where do you live, Antonio?
I also, Roy, you know this. I live in the USA as well.
I thought you were in Saudi Arabia.
Bro, what are you talking about? Roy, I'm 3 hours ahead of you, dude. That's a bit longer than Saudi Arabia.
So how were you going to go and meet Skillard and?
Okay. I was joking about that in the chat. I was like, let's go
Uh,
watch the game together. I, I was
okay, okay,
no, no,
all
no.
right,
I
I
don't.
got
I live in the United States also,
you. Okay.
but yeah, I just live on the other side of the United States, and yeah, Skillard, and I asked Skillard about Saudi Arabia because of the Saudi investment fund, just if he knew more information.
Mm. Okay.
There is some
Yeah. Well.
crazy news saying that Real Madrid are like so Mbappe basically hasn't confirmed that he wants to re-sign yet, and
All
I,
right. Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Let's
these
go in some international news. Yeah.
I think I don't think this is too real because I don't think Mbappe is going to leave PSG this summer, considering that they have like Messi and all of these players now that they can win the Champions League. But Real Madrid maybe either for next season or whatever they're trying to sign Mbappe. Like they're really trying to sign
Hmm.
him.
Yeah. They're saying that he doesn't want. He wants to be the star. With Messi in the picture, he's not the star anymore. He's not the center of attention. I don't know if this is just something that people are making up or if it's true. But if you want to win trophies, like why would you leave PSG right now?
Yeah, I think the smart decision for him is just to play this season out. You have a good chance of winning. And whatever happens, then you decide that next summer, like you're out of contract, you can go anywhere you want. So you know
Mm.
that's what
I
is going
do. If uh, I do think that if COVID didn't happen, Mbappe would have ended up to Real Madrid. I do think that
to.
because Real Madrid is in the position of buying all the top superstars, the upcoming top superstars.
Yeah, I do want to say other news about Barcelona. The president is like confirming some of the current debt issues that they have, and they have like around 1.3 billion euros of debt that was confirmed.
Wow.
And but it's funny enough, they actually are doing. They started their first game off. They won without Messi. They played well, and I'm just gonna say, if we signed Depay, it would have been a master signing. He's so good. Depay has been
Of
fantastic for
course,
Barcelona.
guys. When we say Depay, we're saying Holland's best player. We want to talk about a technical country that plays beautiful football. Holland. Holland is the inventor of beautiful football. They invented beautiful football, and we're talking about the best player of that country. My God, yes, Depay. Actually, Depay was maybe my first choice in the beginning of this calcio mercato. So I cannot disagree with you there.
Yeah, it's Inter's financial situation is very interesting. I saw this comment.
Reports nearly claim Sunning at real risk of losing control of Inter if they don't raise 340 million in the next 36 months, as their debts reported amount to 700 million. Oh wow, wow! They might dissolve if they don't fix this. Imagine if Inter dissolves. Oh my
You know,
God.
it'd be funny if Oak Tree, which is they loaned money for to Inter, which is what Lucas always says. If they have to take over Inter and we get like Saudi like billionaires, and we just like they're like slowly rebuilding. Which you know what for I like if they're like another Elliot, it's not even bad for them to eventually to become stable again. But in the meantime,
Right.
we can just if once we're at the end of that cycle now, if we get sold, that would be pretty crazy, and we just are like spending so much money again. That'd be. I think Milan fans deserve that.
I would. The first thing I would do is snatch Barella out of Barella and Bastoni out of their team. That's the first thing I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
Im- im-
yeah, I mean, I like Barella a lot. I don't know if we would just like they'd probably ask for so much though for him. So I don't know. At that point, you maybe get some other players too.
mm. Yeah, Rohit has been telling us about all the Inter collapse. We are witnessing the collapse of Inter, which guys, it honestly, honestly, like I feel two ways about it. One, I'm happy because the rivalry. I'm happy for the rivalry when it just comes to being a Milan supporter. But being a Serie A supporter and an Italian national team supporter, I'm not happy. It's really bad news, actually. It's really bad news. But hey, you sow what you reap. So this is what happens. We went through this shit. Now they're gonna go through this shit.
Oh,
All right.
also,
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw that the famous Lukaku and Ibra mural outside of San Siro and like with their butting heads. I think Lukaku's face was like vandalized because um
Right, right.
by some fans, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah, the Inter fans are not happy at all. They're very disgusted with Lukaku.
To be fair though,
Very disgusted.
Dumfries is a good signing. Um,
And so is Zeko. So is Zeko.
Dzeko's not a bad
Zeko's
signing,
good.
but they still needed another striker, I think.
I tell you what. I tell you what. I tell you what. But with Zeko, they're going to play better football. They're not going to score as much. Like Zeko is not doesn't have Lukaku's power, does not have Lukaku's explosiveness. Of course, Zeko cannot score the way Lukaku scores. But as far as Zeko is similar to Ibra, as in he can be more of a regista, an offensive regista, meaning Inter is going to play probably better. It's probably not going to score as many goals. Goals is what makes you win, but they probably are going to play better.
Yeah, I just saw this comment that said I'm happy for Hakan now, and I just want to say, if Inter have a like poor season, or let's say like if they miss out of the Champions League, that's considered poor. But if they don't win the league, or if we win the league, or if something funny happens to Inter, I've never edited like a video before, but I mean, or like in a good like a professional YouTube style. But I will learn how to edit videos, and I will make a video. I will continue off of the Çalhanoğlu's bad highlights that we showed on the stream, and I will clip the clip that he said on his interview with Inter when he's like, "We need to win the this next Scudetto, guys." And I will clip that, and then I will have Lukaku and Hakimi leaving and Conte leaving after that, and then I will show his poor highlights from this upcoming season if that happens. So get ready for that.
All right, we'll make it go viral. We'll make it go viral.
Yep.
Yeah, I completely agree, Says if clubs cannot be responsible and run themselves properly, then they deserve anything that comes to them. Clubs must live within their means. Yes, that is 100% true. All right, Antonio, anything else?
No, Roy, I would like this to go on, but I have to sign off, unfortunately.
All right. Well, guys, I think this was an excellent edition of AC Milan News. We got to say everything we need to say. Guys, please stay in tune for the next lives. Everybody that joined us in chat, please remember to like the stream, guys. Please like that stream. Help us grow, guys. We are going to do more lives in the upcoming days. Our long format lives where we have open lines and everybody joins. We are going to do a Milan forum on Friday. Rohit, sorry, but tonight we're not going to do another live. Not tonight, but we are going to do lives in the upcoming days where we're going to do long form lives. Anyway, guys, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Antonio, as always, for all the great information that you're providing. And guys, remember Forza Milan. Ale, forza lotta, vincerai, non ti lasceremo mai. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time. Arrivederci. Ciao.
Forza Milan.